Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where we're giving you the keys. And as you can see, my camera is still messed up, so I'm just going to minimize it. It's freedomthroughastrology.com. I'm your astrologer. My name is Donald Patak. There's my contact information, standard YouTube copyright. And I apologize for this being late. I had another brutal migraine over the weekend that just completely floored me. And on Monday, I was better, but I was losing my voice progressively throughout the day. And hopefully, I can get through this today. Keys to the reading. One, I read astrology by the visible sky. It's sometimes called true sidereal astrology. Tropical astrology fixes the signs to seasons, and that is not where the planets are in the visible sky. So I am doing astrology by where the planets actually are in the sky. And using the zodiac belt by the visible sky means there's an additional sign. It's called the fucus. It's the wounded healer. It's a man holding a snake by the head and the tail. Snakes symbolize knowledge. Holding it by the head and tail symbolize control or use of knowledge. First to heal yourself and then heal others. I am using the natural size of the constellations, which means they're all over the place. Virgo's just under 50 degrees. Scorpio and Libra individually are less than 25 degrees each. So Mother Nature and her wisdom made them natural sizes, all different sizes. I'm respecting that. And I use what are called midpoints. Athan Shimenti noted that when he really homed in on the IAU boundaries, that the IAU had actually shoved stars from one constellation into the next. So he played around and figured out what he believes is his solution to that. I think it's a little bit more accurate. Keys to the reading part 2. I interpret using evolutionary astrology, meaning these transits are lessons to learn. You have freedom of choice. You decide how you're going to work with the information. The planets are offering you choice. This is the weekly edition, so these are universal lessons for everybody. So do have a little compassion on your fellow Earth travelers. My dates are based on the Eastern U.S. time zone as I live out of Buffalo. I'm operating within 1 degree of exact because anything more than that would get overwhelming. If I'm overwhelmed, you're completely lost. And the software I'm using is Capricorn by Prometheus. I apologize if that was just a little fast, but I'm hoping to get through this once with my voice intact. This is the week of November 17th through 23, 2025. The sun begins the week in Libra and will end the week in Scorpio. So we do have a sign change. So we're going to be in Scorpio season. The moon begins in Virgo and then moves through to Sagittarius. So the moon is going to be active this week. In addition to all of the planetary changes, the moon is going to be jumping around too. On top of that, we do have the new moon in Libra on November 20th at 2:10 a.m. in the morning Eastern time. In addition to the sun changing signs, we will have Mercury retrograding back into Libra. So it's like a revisit. Did you get the point? Our active planets of the week: Sun, your core identity, and Mercury, learning and communication. And with Mercury in retrograde, it's a time of reflection. The nodes of the moon will be active this week, and that you can consider that your destiny, your past, how you hold yourself back, and the future that you're moving towards. And it'll be working with Venus, which is relationships, creativity, and Mars, learning courage and assertiveness. The outer planets, both Jupiter and Uranus, are active with longer transits, and our retrograde parade is pretty long with Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Chiron. That should have been a comma. So this is our overview for the week. And as you can see on we begin in Virgo. We begin in Virgo. Tuesday evening, we move into Libra. We have the new moon, and then late on Thursday morning, and then later in the day, we move into Scorpio. So if there's going to be one day that's going to be really intense, emotionally, I would say that's probably going to be Thursday. We do have a lot of transits happening Wednesday, Thursday, and into just the whole week. It's just a busy mess. Not a mess, but it's a very, very busy week. Friday evening, we have the moon in Ophiuchus, so emotional healing. And then Saturday, we just got to get up and have some fun. Anything above this line is from last week. So you can see we do have a number of transits hanging over from last week, which just compounds what's happening. And then this week, it's just a steady cascade of transits, particularly over the weekend. Friday, Saturday, into Sunday will be very busy. We begin the week with Mercury retrograding into Libra, and we end the week with the Sun moving into Scorpio. So a lot happening this week. Sorry about that. And like I said, and you can look, you can see right here, lot of solar energy or sun. This is your core identity. So that's number one right there. And we have quite a chunk with the sun acting out or action. Mercury, because of the sign change. Oops. And then this is all Mercury here. This is Mercury down here. This is Mercury here. I mean, just an intense amount of energy with Mercury as well. I probably could have changed those colors. I apologize. But as you can see, it's going to be a rather intense week. Two key lessons. Number one, focusing on your identity, who you are at heart. And secondly, reflecting on learning and communication. And then we have the nodes of the moon with Venus and Mars, and I will explain those when we get there. Let me close that out. And from our long transit, we do have Uranus retrograde in Taurus, sextiling Neptune retrograde in Pisces. That began back in August and will end on December 17th, or be out of 1 degree anyways. And this is individuality creating an interest in spirituality. So how is you being at peace with who you are, helping to create an interest in your spiritual awareness and practices? And how can that help you, raise to a higher level? The shadow here is you being someone who you are not. And how's that damaging, creating nervousness, uncertainty in your spiritual path and spiritual growth? Yeah, that can have you feeling isolated and alone and lost, also stuck in an illusion. So this is you being someone that you're not and living an illusion. We also have Jupiter and Gemini trining Saturn, and they're both retrograde here. So this is, why do I have one in parenthesis and the other not? Never mind. This is where my brain is. I apologize. But are you taking the opportunity to learn, and how is this supporting your spiritual maturity and spiritual growth? The shadow of this is Jupiter is a crisis of confidence, whether it's too much or not enough, and it's in knowledge. You don't know as much as you think you do, or you think you know more than you do, or different variations thereof. And that can fuel feelings of fear and falling into despair, pessimism, and feelings of failure or desire to escape. And then from Friday, we do have the moon entering Virgo. You're looking to improve yourself, improve your emotional skills and emotional intelligence, and opening up into people who can help you to change. And the shadow here is falling into unrealistic expectations and the worry that it can create, and becoming self-critical of very critical and pessimistic about yourself and critical of others as well. Saturday, we do have this, what builds into a grand trine of the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn. So the Sun in Libra, opening up to seeing yourself in different ways, in different perspectives, being able to view yourself differently and find peace in that. And that is supporting, how is that supporting your ability, your having the confidence to learn, and grow and learn. And then the shadow of that is being indecisive and falling into a false self-image, creates that crisis of confidence and leads to a lack of self-knowledge and loss of the ability to learn. And then we have that feeds into Saturn. Both of them feed into Saturn. So here again, that finding peace with yourself, being able to view yourself from different perspectives, how's that supporting your spiritual growth and spiritual maturity? And so that's the ideal. And the shadow here, again, I talked about the sun, but that feeds that uncertainty and indecision, fuels fear, pessimism, and a desire to escape. So in that grand trine, ideally, that being at peace with yourself and being able to see yourself from different perspectives can support your ability to learn and find new information and learn new things. And that's both of those support your inner spiritual growth. The shadow here is that's uncertainty on who you are, and indecision creates a crisis of confidence, and that fuels fear and a desire to escape. And Mercury sextiling Pluto in a retrograde. And this is Mercury in Scorpio. How did I forget to put that in? My bad. Mercury in Scorpio. And that will move into Libra. When it starts, it's in Scorpio, ends it in Libra. So being able to look deeper into situations and pull back the curtain, and then as it moves into Libra, being able to view things from different perspectives. So you're going from depth to breadth. And how is that creating an interest in transformation? Is it creating an interest in transformation? And that shadow here is becoming moody, mentally defensive, leads to that cynical attitude and deeper wounding of yourself, and can lead also to feeling lonely. And that can also, if that indecision and unwillingness, being wishy-washy, that can also fuel that crisis in healing and transformation. And also, those feelings of loneliness, cynicism, and pessimism. Also from Sunday, we have Venus in Libra, letting people be themselves and accepting that. That is supporting that's supporting the North Node in Aquarius. The North Node is your purpose in life and your destiny in life. And in Aquarius, it's learning to be more authentic and make that authentic and unique to you. So how is learning to work with other people helping you to discover your purpose and make it uniquely your own? And it's good to see how other people with a similar North Node are doing it. You're not there to copy, but just to see what they're doing and what can they share with you, what can you learn, and how can that help you grow and become more unique. The shadow here is being shallow and superficial in your relationships, wishy-washy, and in doing so, you become less authentic, and you selling out your vision for your life and trying to do what other people are doing blindly, or you're just acting out wildly just to get a reaction from others and not listening to others or taking advice from them. And that can be very damaging to your purpose. And here we have on Monday, Venus in Libra, again, sextiling the South Node. We have the trine. This was a support sextile. Here is an interest. So this is Venus working with both of the nodes. So working with other people, learning to see things from their point of view, and letting them be who they are can help you see how to make your purpose uniquely yours. And this is also creating an interest in seeing how pointless drama has held you down and held you back in life. So other people can open your eyes to help you see that. And be aware of that, because that's the South Node shows you how you're holding yourself back, and it's always the shadow. I always read the shadow of the sign that it's in. So in Leo, that's that pointless drama. To me, I call it the pointless drama because that's really what it's about, and that's whether you're acting out for everybody to see or trying to hide away. So how's working with others? It's like, oh, don't look at, how's that helping you to become aware of those bad habits? The shadow here is you're reenacting all that past drama, whether it's over the top or you're trying to hide away and not be seen at all. And you're working with others just fuels that crisis. So both of those are happening at the same time. So when you're working with others, you're either becoming more authentic in your own journey and seeing how you've held yourself back so that you can move on, or you're reliving the problems of the past, and that is sabotaging your ability to move forward, and you're just selling out your vision for your life. And Mercury is retrograding back into Libra now. And in this sense, Mercury is about learning communication. Have you been able to calm your mind down, see life from different perspectives, see information in situations? And also, have you been open to ambiguity or paradox? Are you able to let go of rationalizations? So this is really the question is, have you been able to open your perspectives? The shadow here is being confused, indecisive, and caught up in your own mind, and that fuels greater ignorance in life. And on Tuesday, Mercury is retrograde in Libra, is opposite Uranus. So again, how is being more open-minded, being able to see things from different perspectives? How reflect on how is that helping you become more authentic internally? Is this helping you become more authentic and helping you to find peace in that authenticity and individuality? The shadow here is being rigid and defensive, and that can pull you out of balance and lead to your being someone that you are not, whether you're acting out to get a reaction from people or selling out. And with it being in retrograde, all this is internal drama. It's okay. It's okay, ankle biter. I have 2 cats on my lap today. That's your kitten commercial. So, and this is a time of reflection and balancing. So ideally, you're balancing your ability to learn with your individuality. And also we have Mercury trining Neptune, reflecting on being able to see things from different perspectives. And how is that supporting your spiritual growth? How is that supporting your spirituality, your ability to be present and pay attention? And be aware of your higher self and higher purposes. And again, that shadow is being scattered and unfocused, and you're thinking and talking excessively can pull you out of balance, get you lost in illusion, and or trying to escape a pointless and meaningless life and hide away. I mean, Saturn and Neptune is just trying to escape away from meaninglessness and feeling lost. And Tuesday, the moon does enter Libra. So emotionally, do learn to take a breath and take a break when needed. A pause can be a best option sometimes, and opening up to different perspectives and the paradoxes that can come with them. And with the moon is your emotions and soul. So being open to emotional paradox. The shadow here is being indecision and falling into insincerity, and that can lead to you feeling emotionally unstable. And you'd be all over, they'd be all over the place. It's like my kitten is falling all over me now. There you go. Back. Wednesday, the sun will be conjunct Mercury. So focusing on yourself. Are you learning? What are you learning about? And how can it help you in fulfill and being who you are and your identity? Are you learning about who you are? And is what you're learning helping you to form a more accurate self-opinion and self-image of yourself? And remember, you're learning to look at yourself from different perspectives and be aware of that. So can you literally see you as your friends see you or your coworkers? That's healthy here. The shadow is being defensive, scattered in your thoughts, result in reinforcing a false ego or becoming more blind to who you really are. And that's a relatively fast transit. Thursday morning, 2:10 in the morning, we have the new moon in Libra. So this is the sun conjunct the moon in Libra. I misjudged. I thought we were going to skip this. I misjudged this. My bad. Because sometimes when the sun is late in Virgo, it can skip. The new moon can skip completely over Libra. Well, we didn't get that this year. Last year we did have that though. So This is the opportunity for healing that can come from learning to take a pause or a break and finding what brings you peace and balance in your life, and open up to times of ambiguity and paradox. You see who you really are and how are you really feeling. And uh, and it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be. And open up to others if help if you need. Do be willing to open up to others and be able to see things from other people's point of view as well. And the shadow is getting life out of balance. The head and the heart can be struggling to meet and create moments. This can create moments of indecisiveness and feelings of unhappiness. Wow. And here we have the sun will be Billy a Grand Trine soon too. Here we go. But we're the sun in Libra trining Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So as you're learning about being able to see yourself from different perspectives, how is this supporting your ability to be present and spiritually aware and support spiritual growth? And the shadow here is being indecisive about who you are, collapsing into false ego, and this leads to your living in illusion and or creating a desire to escape from an empty and superficial life. Very miserable there. And we have Sun in Libra opposite Taurus. So as you're learning about yourself from who you are from different perspectives, reflect what if what you're learning is authentic and what of it is at peace with you. So how seeing yourself from all these different perspectives helping you to become more authentic and more at peace with who you really are. The shadow is being indecisive or collapsing into false ego, result in an imbalance and has you being someone that you are not. And you won't find any peace at all. You'll find instability, insecurity, and in Taurus, you can be just lazy, or you can be the bull in the china shop and really, really angry. And on Thursday, we also have the moon entering Scorpio. So be prepared to face deep feelings and truths about yourself. Learn to be honest with yourself. That's going to be an emotional asset. And expect moments of intensity or powerful moods. So great. We had the full moon in the morning and the moon in Scorpio in the evening. Thursday is going to be an interesting day. Shadow is being careful of wounding yourself or others with a rotten mood or slipping into a dark mood, just being miserable and negative about everything. Friday, we have Mercury retrograde in Libra, trining Saturn. And this is going to, where is that? This should, yeah, this is going to feed that grand trine. Oh, wait a minute. No. I just got clear. I'm not going to try drawing. I was trying to draw it before, but you can see the grand trine here, Mercury to Saturn, and then Mercury will begin retrograding also to Jupiter. All three planets are retrograde. So this grand trine here is going to be fully internal. So this is you reflecting on learning things and being aware of them from different perspectives. And how is this helping to support your spiritual maturity and your spiritual growth? The shadow here is being mentally rigid and defensive. And can lead to your becoming a control freak or pessimistic towards spiritual situations. Yeah. And then we have Mars and Scorpio squaring the North Node. So Mars and Scorpio having the courage to go deep and explore. How is that strengthening your ability to be, take your purpose in life and being authentic with it? So you're having the courage just to go deep. And do the deep work of life, strengthening and making your life's purpose on your own. The shadow here is falling into deep-seated fears, can lead to a denial or ignoring of purpose, and these fears can feel like a crushing burden. Squares are, the purpose is to strengthen you. So the positive is having the courage to become more authentic, and as you have more courage, it strengthens your ability to be more authentic. The fear, when you fall into fear, that becomes a crushing burden, and you become more fake just to try to escape, or you're being someone that you are not. And here we have also on Friday, Grand Trine. These actually, that Mars transit happens between these two starting within 1 degree. So here we have the Mercury Jupiter leg of this Grand Trine. And so again, reflect on helping your mind different perspectives can support the opportunity to learn and gain confidence and gain a higher perspective on your life, and help you find confidence in your ability to learn and communicate. So, and again here, as you're being able to learn about these different perspectives and tolerate them, this supports your ability to learn and gives you the opportunity to learn. Are you taking those opportunities when they arise? And how is all that supporting your ability to become more spiritually mature? That's the Grand Trine. The shadow here, again, being mentally rigid and defensive, creates a crisis of confidence and shuts down learning, leads to foolish mistakes and decisions. And that fuels that bitterness and cynicism and desire to try to escape from life and do anything you can to numb the pain. So, yeah. And Friday night, we have the moon entering a Fucus. And this is a time of emotional healing. I would dare say it's a rest. So this is a time to learn how to heal yourself emotionally. And pay attention to teachers and others that can help you do this. So you're here learning how to heal emotionally, and being open to others can be good. And the shadow here is refusing to heal or take the information and knowledge that you know and yet you've learned and using it to wound yourself or wound others. Saturday, we have the sun. It will begin this transit in Libra and end in Scorpio. So I'm going to talk about it like that. So the beginning in Libra, the sun, you're learning about yourself from different perspectives. So you're going from breadth, wide, many different perspectives. And then as it moves into Scorpio, you're taking one of them, or you're just taking those and exploring them more deeply. And how is this creating an interest in doing the work of deep transformation and deep healing? So as you're learning more about yourself and on a deeper level, this supports deep healing and transformation and change in life. However, collapsing into false ego can feel isolating, lonely, indecisive, and then turn into feelings of cynicism and emptiness, and that can fuel deep wounding of yourself and feelings of cynicism, loneliness, emptiness, and focusing on that, doing all that, the sun focusing on who you are not and being that, not becoming that person, can lead to darkness and be injurious mostly to yourself. And Saturday, we have the moon entering Sagittarius. So emotionally, you're up to and open to new ideas and new experiences. And pay attention to opportunities and synchronicities that can fuel excitement or interest. And the shadow here is being mindlessly defending the status quo or the past and being self-righteous about it. And this can create feelings of being stuck or caught up in a boring routine. And Sunday, we have Mars and Scorpio squaring the South Node in Leo. And remember, I said square is strengthening, so having the courage to go deep and to explore deeply. How is this strengthening your ability to become more aware of how pointless, meaningless drama holds you back in life? So ideally, as Mars is exploring Scorpio, and you're pulling back the curtain and seeing who is Oz. And you're able to explore that more deeply. This is helping you to become more authentic and become more of who you are. And that is also strengthening your ability to leave behind the drama that's held you back in life. The shadow here is that this all becomes a crushing burden. You fall into fear and anger and deep, deep seated anger, and can have you this all the past problems can show up, and that becomes a crushing burden, and you're becoming someone who you are not. All that just becomes a crushing burden on you, and it can collapse in and cave in and create greater problems for you. And finally, the sun on Sunday enters Scorpio. So this is exploring your core identity more deeply and finding, and hopefully that ideally that leads to healing experiences. This can be a more intense and deep period of time. And look for opportunities to be more honest with yourself and who you really are. Remember, the sun is your core identity. So I have my quip. I have this creative deck. It's called the Creative Whack Pack, and one of the lines is Heraclitus says, "I looked into myself." This is exactly what you're doing. You're looking into who you are at a deeper level. You're peeling back the layers of the onion. Failing this, you can fall into a dark mood and infuse the false ego with a sense of bitterness towards life and its experiences, and this can lead to deep sense of isolation, loneliness, emptiness, and fear. And that's where we end. And I apologize for this. I tried to be clear and concise because I feel my voice go a little bit, and I got this cold or something, and it's not doing me well. I did want to try to get this done. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, so do like and follow, share if you can. These people are making a lot of money off of your data, and you're not getting any of it. Digital soul space, I call it the happy corner of the internet. There's a free version and a paid version. Free version gets you limited access. Paid version, which costs less than $2 a month, which is less than a cup of coffee, or $2 a coffee, 2 cups of coffee at certain fast food restaurants. But for $2 a month, it opens up to the entirety of the experience. And this whole space, I do astrology on there, but you'll also see people doing crystals, tarot, oracle decks, wide variety of spiritual practices. It's a safe space to ask questions, and know that there are zero trolls on the site because we have 4 amazing monitors and or whatever you want to call them, moderators that do an amazing job of keeping it to be a safe space. Oops, missed that. I didn't want to do that. My bad. I do readings, quick 6, if you want to see how your chart changes. Birth chart is your birth contract. I help you understand who you came here to become. Your karmic or past life reading, these are patterns. These are patterns that be either a past life or a special lesson that you came here to learn, and that how it shows up in this lifetime so you can heal it and overcome it. I do horoscopes. I do a yearly overview, any 12 months in a row, any 3 months in a row, or any 1 month, whether it's first of the month, the last of the month, or new moon to new moon. I help you understand how these planetary changes affect you personally. So it'll be lined up not only to your houses, but I'll also look at if there's any aspects to natal planets that it will affect as well. I get this done, excuse me. But I do have packages that combine these at 4 different levels. Like, follow, and share. If you do get on my website, sign up for the newsletter. It's a pop-up. I just need an email address with once a week newsletter. Thank you very much. Have the best possible week. I apologize, my voice hasn't been the greatest. But remember, in the visible life, in the visible sky, your life changes. Oh my gosh. Spoonerisms, I love them. Thank you very much. Have the best week possible.